nagpapatuloy na press conference. Sinabi nitong si Presidential Spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque na hindi na siya sigurado sa ngayon kung itutuloy pa yung pulong na yan ngayong 12:30 ng tanghali sa pagitan nga ni Pangulong Duterte, Speaker Lord Alan Velasco at itong si Congressman Alan Peter Cayetano dahil nga doon sa nangyaring development dyan sa mababang kapulungan ng Kongreso kung saan niratipikahan na ng mga mambabatas yung nangyaring eleksyon kahapon at inihalal na etong si Lord Alan Velasco bilang kanilang House Speaker. Mga kasama, pakinggan natin ang nagpapatuloy na press conference.
The integration program, Melo.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary. Maraming salamat, Secretary Roque. Magandang tanghali, Secretary Avisado. Thank you.
Tanghali din, Melo.
Thank you,
Salamat
Melo. Let's go back to Yusef
Thank you
Rafi,
din,
please.
Melo.
Yes, Secretary, from Heidi Sangpang ng DZAS, aprobado na po ba ni President Duterte yung 1 seat apart sa public transport at pagpayag na makalabas ang 16 to 65 years old?
Well, aprobado na po yung 1 seat apart dahil isa po yan dun sa rekomendasyon ng Economic Cluster Group na inaprubahan kahapon. No? Pero yung... Wait, titignan ko itong mga recommendation. No? So nandito yung mga recommendation. Tignan po natin yung sa age group. Ang recommendation po ay gradual expansion of the age group allowed to go out, i.e. 15 to 65. No? So I suppose hindi po in-specify kasi sa recommendation kung 15 to 65 na ang recommendation, no? But it was part of the recommendation, so nakasulat po kasi dito EG 15 to 65. So it is now approved, no? It is approved because it was a recommendation approved by the entire cabinet. Okay?
Okay. Second question niya po, ano daw po yung oras ng talk to the people bukas ni President Duterte?
Alam niyo naman po kung kailan matapos po yung pagpupulong, tsaka po i-ere yung mensahe. Okay. Pierre Nada, please.
Hi, sirs. Good afternoon to all the cabinet members present.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Yes po. So for Secretary Roque, just for on the record, sir, did the President have anything to do at all with convincing lawmakers in the House to vote for Speaker Velasco, or did Speaker Velasco do everything, lobby for votes all on his own?
The President was consistent from the very beginning. It's an internal matter of the House. But certainly when there was an impasse, and there was an impasse when we had the events yesterday, he called for both, no, at 12:30 today, and I'm not even sure if that will still push through, no. So I think it is fair to say that the President respected the separation of powers and allowed the members of the House to vote for whomever they want to vote as their Speaker.
Okay, so he had no part in convincing them to side with Velasco. Kasi sir, parang may change of heart, diba? From 184 with Cayetano, some of them went to Velasco. So parang they were convinced somehow to change sides.
Not the President po. Not on the part of the President.
All right. Going on naman, sir, to the developments in the cabinet meeting. Sir, the decision on 1 seat apart, may we know what was the science used as basis for this rule? Because, sir, diba, technically seats differ in sizes. So if you want to be philosophical about it, sir, diba, some people, the distance will not be standard because nag-iiba-iba po yung sizes of seats, and then so the 1 meter rule here is thus put into jeopardy. And we also know that some cabinet officials weren't supportive of reducing the 1 meter requirement. So sir, may we know the discussion on this? Was there a debate that ensued on this rule, and what was the basis for this rule?
Hindi na po kasi mainit na napag-usapan itong 1 meter rule to 0.75. Napakatagal po ng pagpupulong ng ITF tungkol dito. Hindi na po inulit yung pag-uusap dito muli. Although kahapon, nandun po yung mga eksperto, meron pong eksperto galing sa grupo ni Dr. Dance, merong eksperto galing naman sa grupo ni Secretary Cabral, at hindi na nga po nadinig ang expert except for one, but the President cut short the expert who was giving her opinion kasi parang tapos na yung meron ng consensus on the issue. So I guess I'm answering that as far as the reducing the 1 meter distance is concerned, it was arrived at as a matter of consensus, and it is based on science. It is based on studies which Dr. Dairit presented to the IATF. I do not have the study before me right now, but I can text to you the study cited by Dr. Dairit.
So, sir, what was it that convinced the president and cabinet officials like si Secretary Anyo and Duque, who weren't for the reduction in distancing, what convinced them finally to change their mind about it?
Well, the fact that we needed really to open the economy because the lockdowns have been causing poverty and malnutrition on the part of our children. And the fact that we have the 7 commandments, no? If you wear a mask, you wear a face shield, you don't speak, you don't eat, may proper ventilation, yung frequent and proper disinfection, walang asymptomatic passengers, at saka yung meron pa ring social distancing, this will reduce the risk of acquiring COVID-19 in public transportation.
Okay, and then sir, last question. Sir, yung what the cabinet decided na last resort na lang po yung changing the quarantine classifications of regions. So does it mean, sir, that Metro Manila will stay under GCQ for an indefinite period of time? Wala na po yung mga changing every month. And what exactly does last resort mean? What are the parameters for saying that we have now reached the point where we have to change the classification of a certain region?
Well, I think by last resort is meant last resort. Common meaning of last resort. Kung wala na po talagang magagawa, tsaka tayo magre-resort again to lockdowns. Pero for now, the strategy remains granular and localized lockdowns. Okay, thank you, Pia. We go now to Yusek Rocky.
Secretary, questions from Jenaline Cabiling of Manila Bulletin on the cabinet approval of economic clusters. Recommendations, what are the priority areas where COVID cases must be managed?
Siyempre kung saan yung mga lugar na matataas ang attack rates, no? At saka titignan din po natin yung critical care utilization rate ng lugar. So pinalitan lang po natin yung case doubling type ng attack rates, tapos tinitignan pa rin po natin yung critical care capacity.
Second question po niya, when will the government enforce the 1 seat apart rule in public transportation, shorter curfew hours, gradual expansion of business capacity? Will this still require resolution from IATF? Isn't the government concerned easing lockdown measures might lead to a spike in COVID cases?
Hindi po. Unang-una, it will be effective upon publication po in the official gazette, no? Hindi na po kinakailangan ng IATF meeting yan kasi it was a full cabinet meeting, no? Pangalawa po, hindi naman po, no? Dahil tingin ko after 6-7 months of lockdown, alam na natin ang gagawin. Mask, iwas, hugas.
Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you, Yusek. Mela Lesmores, please.
Secretary Roque, may first question po. Nasabi na bukas ay may meeting nga si Pangulong Duterte at public address. Ano po kaya yung mga tatalakayin sa meeting niya with IATF na hindi pa natatalakay sa full cabinet meeting?
Well, yung ulat sa bayan naman po, primarily tungkol po yan sa COVID-19 and our responses to the COVID-19 pandemic. So pareho pa rin po.
Opo. Can I go to Secretary Abisado, please, sir?
Yes, please.
Opo. Secretary Abisado, para lang po sa kaalaman ng ating mga kababayan, may I ask kung ano po ang comparison kung sa COVID-19 response ng pamahalaan, kung magkakaroon ng reenacted budget ang pamahalaan at kung maipapasa naman on time ang proposed 2021 national budget.
Ay, opo. Kung maipapasa natin ang 2021 budget, edi hamak na wala tayong masyadong problemahin na usapin patungkol sa COVID-19 dahil nakalatag na po lahat yung mga programa, proyekto at mga gagawin pa nating pagsisikap para nga po maibsan ang epekto nito, lalo tigit sa ating ekonomiya. Sa kabilang dako, kung ito naman ay maantala at hindi maipasa on time, Eh di pag nag-reenacted budget po tayo, mahihirapan po talaga tayo dahil hindi tayo makakapag-implement ng mga projects na nakapaloob sa National Expenditure Program for next year. Ang tanging magagawa lamang natin ay magpasahod at yung continuous operation natin, ang MOOE, pero pagdating sa capital outlay at lalo tigit doon sa pagbibili na kung ano yung mga pangangailangan dahil sa patuloy natin na pinagsisikapan nga na maibsan ang dulot nitong pandemya ito ay hindi po mangyayari yan. So talagang mahihirapan po tayo talaga. Sobrang hirap. Kaya we cannot afford, as the President was saying, we cannot afford to have a reenacted budget. Opo.
Opo. And sir, panghuling tanong na lamang po, with this statement nga po, ano po ang mensahe natin hindi lang sa Kamara, kundi maging Senado when it comes to pagpasa nga po ng proposed 2021 national budget?
Alam naman namin po na ang mababa at mataas na kapulungan ay nagsisikap din po sila. At kinikilala po namin ang kanilang pagsisikap at pagtulong sa ating pamahalaan dahil we respect each other's area of jurisdiction and separation of powers. Kaya nga po kami ay umaasa at nakikipagkaisa naman kami sa kanila at tumutulong na kung ano pa yung po pwedeng gawin para nga po mapadali ang proseso ng pagpasa ng ating budget for next year. At hopefully, ito nga at na-resolve na yung leadership issue, ay tuloy-tuloy lang po sana, tumaasa kami na sa Friday at the latest ay maipasa na on third and final reading sa mababang kapulungan ang national budget for 2021 po.
Opo. Thank you so much, Secretary Avisado, Secretary.
Yes, thank you very much, Mela. Round 2, Joyce Balancio, maximum of 2 questions on the round 2, please.
Yes, Secretary Roque, doon lang po sa one seat apart na rule or policy na natin. So just to be categorical about it, we're now dropping the 1 meter physical distance between passengers and wala tayong specific na distance na measured distance between passengers, only 1 seat apart. Because many are asking, Secretary, paano to ipatutupad, for example, sa mga jeep, yung 1 seat apart?
Ay, ano naman po yan. I'm sure the OTR will issue the final guidelines, pero 1 seat apart is 1 seat apart po. Hindi po pwede magkakatabi.
And sir, wala tayong specific, as of now, wala tayong specific distance sa parang 0.75, gano'n. Basta
Wala na po.
1 seat apart relative.
Wala na po. And I'd like to
Alright.
underscore that the approval of this resolution is now unanimous.
Okay, yung MGCQ for NCR, was it discussed during the cabinet meeting yesterday?
Hindi pa po. 1 month po kasi ang ating classifications.
All right, Secretary,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. Joseph Morong, round 2. Go ahead, Joseph. Wala kang audio.
Hi
Yes.
sir, good afternoon sir. Okay, game. Sabi po nung ating kakilala pareho ay tuloy pa rin po yung meeting nila Kong Velasco and Kong Cayetano. Sir, yung message na lang sa kumpas na lang ni Presidente dun sa mga kongresista now that the leadership issue has been resolved. At ang expectation po ba natin to pass yung budget from both houses of Congress by what dates or December yung kailangan natin ma-beat?
Well, unang-una nagpapasalamat po kami sa lahat ng miyembro ng Kamara de Representante dahil pinakinggan po nila yung pakiusap na ating presidente na sana isang tabi muna ang politika at isulong muna itong anti-COVID-19 budget natin para sa taong 2021. Maraming salamat din po kay dating Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano and congratulations and salamat din po kay Speaker Lord Alan Velasco. No? We look forward to working closely with Speaker Lord Alan Velasco because he is also a very close ally of this administration at tingin ko naman po magpapatuloy ang buong kooperasyon ng Ekotibo at ng Kongreso under the leadership of Congressman Speaker Lord Alan Velasco.
Sir, last na lang. Sir, yun pong hindi ko lang kung tama yung kinig ko, yun pong dating natin binagbabawalan ng mga minors and then yung seniors, pinapayagan na ba sir natin siya under the new...
Nabago lang po yung edad. Nabago lang po yung edad.
edad.
Ibinaba
Okay,
to
so sir,
15 to... pero ito po, EG 15 to 65. No? So, I think ang ibig sabihin nito is babaguhin talaga yung edad. Pero let me see, I think we will give some leeway to the IATF to actually fix kung anong edad yan. No? And nakasulat dito, EG is, for example, 16 to 65. No? But what was...
Bayanihan laban sa COVID-19. DZXL 558 Radyo Trabaho. Special coverage.